So hello dear Uzreport World viewers. Today we are again in our studio and we have a special guest, United Nations Development Program Resident Representative in Uzbekistan, Matilda Dimovska. Welcome Matilda to our studio. We are glad to see you here today.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me here.
Walaikum assalam. I have several questions, Ms. Dimovska, to you, and I will start if you don't mind. Today we are launching the 2020 Global Human Development Report. Can you please tell me what it is and for how long has it been published?
Thank you. The Human Development Report in general offers an overview and assessment of the progress made in improving the life and livelihoods of people in a way that is sustainable and in a way that accounts the full dimensions of human development. It provides a set of indexes that measure the development across the countries beyond mere economic development. For the past 30 years, it has been informing the development debate on issues like mobility, migration, gender, human rights, climate change. So, but at the core, and it has provides each year set of indicators, including the Human Development Index, that classifies the countries in three categories with a low, medium, and high human development level. At the core of the report is the concept of human development. And human development is a paradigm of, that puts the people at the center of the development. Human development is about expanding the capabilities for the people, choices for the people, so that they live life according to their values. So it goes beyond, it values the material resources, it values the income, human development. However, it also takes into considerations two other components that are very important, and that is for people. And that is access to health and access to education. And this changes. In 2019, for example, the Human Development Report argued that now enhanced capabilities are becoming very important for people to thrive into the digital era.
Thank you so much. What is the report's theme for 2020? What can you tell us about this?
Since the start of the Industrial Revolution, the development apparently has come at a huge expense of the environment and on the nature. And the scientists are alerting, warning us that the damage that the humanity has made to the planet became so huge that it may be even irreversible, to the extent that may challenge our mere existence at the planet. So therefore, that is the theme of this Human Development Report. Human Development, the title is Human Development and Anthropocene. Anthropocene is epoch, is a unit still not official, but a unit into the life on the earth of the planet that defines a period when humans are having significant implication on the ecosystems, on the wildlife. It is seen in land degradation, it is seen in climate change, oceans living without all life, and so on. It is called Age of Humans. So we are probably entering into that age of humans, and we have ample of examples of what type of challenges we will be facing as a humanity in that period. For example, COVID-19 is a mere example of that type of challenge. It spread so fast around, and it had such consequences that were exacerbating and were exacerbated by the pre-existing inequalities. So it was also yet another warning that the time for action is now. So in some, the floor beneath us is shaking, is shifting. Our base is shifting, and then we have to find, we are confronting an unprecedented challenges, and we have to find new ways of addressing it. This time the challenge will be not only about expanding the people's capabilities, but also to expand them in a way that will be in balance with the nature. So the two other dimensions of the development become extremely important. One is what we call agent, and that means the ability of people to take part in, to participate into the decision-making process and make decisions they value. And second is the dimension of the values, meaning our beliefs and our understanding of what does it mean to live a good life, and to enhance it and make it more considerate of the balance with the planet. So these are the three elements that probably will be determining our understanding of the development in the future.
Thank you so much. Ms. Dymowska, you mentioned about actions and what actions are needed to prevent future crises like this from happening again.
Thank you. That's definitely the very important question. I think that, and what the report is arguing is that we need to go beyond looking of targeting of problems in a singular manner. From a narrow perspective, we are facing interconnected world. We live in the interconnected world. The challenges, the issues are so much interrelated, complex, even more than ever. So that our approach has to be applied, has to be adjusted to this interconnected world in which we are living. So expanding the human development while taking in consideration the balance with the nature, that is the key challenge. Now, the report argues that humanity can develop the values and act by improving, by focusing on the equity, by fostering innovation, and by enacting, embracing stewardship with the planet. So we argue if what means to live a good life is expanded and includes more weight is given to equity, to innovation, and this stewardship with the planet, then there are better chances that the human development will thrive at the same time, while at the same time the pressures on the planet will be eased. The report comes with three specific recommendations of how that can be achieved. One is the first, starting with changing the norms and the values that we in the right direction, in a direction that gives bigger consideration to the planet. The second is about regulations, mechanisms that provide incentives, but also penalties for directing, incentivizing the behavior in the right direction. And the third is around industrial economic development based on the nature-based solution.
But hasn't human development progressed precisely because of resource consumption and industrial activity, allowing people to produce and others to consume?
Indeed, for too long the humanity has, and our development has been confined to a well-defined, narrow, well-trodden models that ultimately have been unsustainable, and that has caused so much damage to the planet. The scientists say that the warning lights for our planet are flashing red, in fact. So, however, alternative models for development exist and are available, in fact. So I believe that it is for us important to reframe the development model, to get out of the spiral of a negative spiral, but to start and to maintain models of development that balance both the social, economic, and planetary aspects.
Now I would like to move beyond the global theme of this year's report to find out more about the Human Development Index. Could you tell me more about this?
Yes, sure. As I've said, the human development is about expanding the choices, capabilities and choices, freedoms for the people so that they live a life that they value. The Human Development Index was constructed based on that assumption, and it provides an overall overview of the development in a country that reflects combined with and looks it from a combined lenses, from the lenses of income, health and education. A country scores higher at the Human Development Index if its people live longer, if they spend more time in schools, and if they earn more. Well, however, the development is a dynamic process. It's issues and values are changing and norms are changing. So therefore, the metrics shall adjust and change it. Therefore, over the past 30 years, as the index has been produced, new matrices have been introduced, such as the Gender Inequality Adjusted Human Development Index that looks also in the gender inequalities, but also human inequalities adjusted Human Development Index that looks within the countries of how the human development is spread, as well as a multidimensional poverty index that help us look the poverty beyond the mere economic means, but other aspects of it. So it is, I wish to stress this year, we are looking into the complexity of the relation with the nature. Human development remains being very relevant for the basic capabilities. However, the complexity requires a new lenses, and therefore this year the Planet Adjusted Human Development Index has been introduced into the report. It takes into account the level of emissions of carbon dioxide, as well as the consumption per capita basis in each country, and in that way it takes into the account the pressure that a country is making to the planet.
Mm-hmm. How does this formula apply to Uzbekistan? Is the country making progress?
Thank you. That's, of course, for us, being in Uzbekistan is the most important question. Just to start that in 2020 Human Development Report, we are reviewing, analyzing the results or the indices of 189 countries and UN-recognized territories for the period of 2019. So we are looking 2019 data for 189 countries and territories. For Uzbekistan, the data shows that it has been making a consistent progress over the years in all dimensions into the human development. Its value of the index is ranking the country at a high human development category, and it's ranked this year at the place of 106 out of 189, as I have said. And that is very much a result, basically, of the progress that between this 1990 and 2019 that the country has made in all dimensions. For example, over these past 30 years, so we are very pleased to see that Uzbekistan has been having a constant upward trend into all dimensions of the human development over the past 30 years, and that has been a result of the strong commitment and hard work of the government and the people of Uzbekistan for a progress being made. The value of the Human Development Index places the Uzbekistan at the level of 106 ranking as out of 189 countries and territories. For example, over the past 30 years, the expectancy at birth has increased for 5.2 years. The mean years of schooling has increased by 2.8 years, and the income per capita has increased for 115%. So it's a great achievement that has been made over the past years. We are very pleased also the whole UN system and particularly United Nations Development Programme to see that in whatever intervention that we do with the government, the human development, we see that we ensure that it is human development centered and of course results oriented.
Well, thank you. Ms. Dymovska, I think the next question also will be quite interesting for our UzReport World viewers. How is Uzbekistan doing relative to other countries in the region, for example, in Central Asia, or comparing to other countries, maybe Kazakhstan?
Definitely, that's, of course, we are looking into these issues. First, let me say that all countries in the region of Europe and Central Asia have experienced progress in human development over the past years. If we compare the human development index value of Uzbekistan with the rest of this region, then its value is slightly lower than the average. It stands at 0.72 as compared to 0.79 points for the average. However, if we zoom into Central Asia, Uzbekistan is doing the value of human development index is higher than in Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan that are ranked at a level of 120 and 125 respectively.
Okay, thank you so much. So my next question is one of the other measurement tools introduced by the report includes gender equality. Why is that important and how is Uzbekistan doing in this area? What can you tell us about this?
Thank you for this question. It's a question that we consistently raise it. Now we have also some new data about it. Well, I wish to start with saying, of course, gender equality is a fundamental human right, but not only. It's a kind of a precondition for all aspects of the development to flourish. It's a precondition for a peaceful, prosperous and sustainable development. And I often say that it also makes a very strong business case as well. Now, the Gender Inequality Index is taking into account the gender inequalities from a perspective, three perspectives: reproductive health, empowerment and economic activity. In this report shows that Uzbekistan has been doing better in terms of gender inequality, better than 61 other countries. It is ranked at 62 out of 162 countries level, and that its value, in fact, is higher than the average. The value of the index is higher than the average of all countries from Europe and Central Asia, which is a positive and it's very good, and probably is a result of the fact that this time we have 16.2% of the parliamentarian seats taken by women, or the fact that equal number of men and women are finishing the secondary school. But of course challenges are there. If we look into the data, for example, of live births, still in Uzbekistan, on each 100,000 live births, 29 Uzbek women die because of pregnancy-related reasons. And the average in the world is 17. If we look into the labor data, women's participation into the Uzbek labor is around 52%, while for the men, that figure is 78%. So, and that is one of the reasons why UNDP is working on promoting, supporting the gender equality of Uzbekistan, being it through promotion of empowerment, encouraging women to open their own businesses, being it better protection from gender-based violence or in general policies that empower women in line with the international human rights treaties.
Thank you so much. Will the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic affect progress in human development? And will it affect the relative standing of countries in the 2021 report next year?
That is the question of the time. And we have been looking, UNDP has been looking at in Uzbekistan, globally, etc. COVID definitely affected, and wherever it landed, it spread so far, and it had so much implications, impact beyond health impact. It is definitely a development challenge and issue that we have. It's important to understand that it further intensified the pre-existing inequalities and is further intensifying the inequalities, and that from a human development perspective is extremely important because it has a direct implication on the results to the people. Now, for the first time in the last decade, we see decline of the human development. That was very clear. We found that we came with that analysis mid this year. And then the numbers also show that at least 100 million more people have been entered into extreme poverty as a result of the COVID. In Uzbekistan, of course, we were looking in these issues. For example, the survey made in June this year indicated that a huge number of people may have fallen into the poverty, that the exports, the remittances have fallen. About 85% of the businesses at certain point had to close due to the lockdown period. So therefore, it was also very encouraging to see how the government of Uzbekistan made a swift and a comprehensive action, trying to, at the end, ultimately reach and support those that are most needed. Of course, United Nations and UNDP in particular, we have been working very closely with them on that topic.
Thank you. That's very positive. When the pandemic is over and things return to normal, will Uzbekistan's growth continue?
Thank you very much. I think, let me start with saying, I think the question, Uzbekistan never stopped growing. In fact, it's one of the few countries that did not experience a negative GDP growth during the pandemic, and that's a big accomplishment. But what is equally important, we believe, is that as Uzbekistan fully recovers from the pandemic, it does so with integrity and sustainability. And that means, of course, we shall be doing everything to support Uzbekistan further develop in a sustainable manner, and that it reflects, implements the recommendations of this report that we are talking today. Uzbekistan is UNDP, in fact, in Uzbekistan is ready to continue supporting Uzbekistan in recovering, in beyond recovery, in moving beyond pure COVID recovery, in doing so by in a green manner, in an equitable manner, with equality, but also with a just economy. And we stand by Uzbekistan to see its progress in a human development index rising over the next years as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dymovska. It was very interesting and very important at the same time. We appreciate everything you do, and especially United Nations Development Program, and you especially being the resident representative in Uzbekistan. And definitely this is very important for our Uzbek nation, and I'm sure it's beyond the Uzbek population's expectations, everything you do. Thanks again, and thanks for coming to our studio today. If you would like to say something to Uzbek people, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me, Rahmat. I think this year has been extremely challenging for the world, for all of us in Uzbekistan. I wish to also share my personal reflection that the way how the Uzbekistan at all levels reacted to the pandemic has been just exceptional. It has been so impressive to see mobilization of all fronts. It has been so, and particularly on the side of the young people. All of them have been mobilized in such a short period of time, and they went, reached everyone that was needed. So that shows very much about the Uzbekistan, about Uzbekistan people, the culture that you have, the ability to overcome jointly all challenges. So I think I will remember this year by that example of Uzbekistan. Thank you for giving me this opportunity as well.
Special thanks for you again for coming here. Dear Uz Report World viewers, we had a special guest today, United Nations Development Program Resident Representative in Uzbekistan, Matilda Dimovska. Hope to see you again, and Happy New Year coming soon.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
See you soon.